Hey guys, it's John for Cblast Gamers here with another podcast. This is episode 49, and I'm joined with
Jonah
and
Carmine.
How you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Welcome back.
Awesome.
Thank you.
For the
Glad
people
to be here.
for the people that don't know, this is actually our second time recording this because we had a power outage and we lost about an hour's worth of podcast.
Was it an hour? Maybe a half
I
hour.
feel like it was an hour. I don't know. It
Was that
good
really
stuff,
an hour?
It may have been. I mean, when I talk, time just flies
It was
by.
good stuff though.
Yeah.
But anyway, for those that are new to this, this is Cartridge Blast Podcast. You can find the audio, on any app of your choice because there's too many just to name.
We're on SoundCloud.
Yes, way to go.
And if we're not on an app, let us know so we can get on the app.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. So, I think we're going to do something different this time because we have been doing these live, but because of the storm, we didn't want to do something live and, like we just experienced, have something go wrong. So, we'll probably put these out in segments so you guys get little chunks instead of full hour-plus long clips.
Videos.
So, I mean, if you prefer that, let us know. We haven't got any feedback on it, so. But anyway, let's dive in. Guys, what are we playing? Carmine, would you like to start?
Quick recap.
Sure.
God of War. Greatest game of all time.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. No, it's great. A little bit of a shorter version of what we just talked about, but obviously game mechanics on par. The character development, the story of Kratos, where he came from, where he's at now, the relationship with his son, the universe that they're in, the world that they're in, how they explain the lore about the Norse mythology and everything else like that is fantastic. The combat completely redefined. Everything about this game, at the same time, as much as it is Kratos in the God of War franchise, as much as it's something that we think that we've seen before, it's something completely new.
Yeah.
It is no longer just a one-dimensional game, and it's hopefully something that they can continue to refine and have many, many sequels, because to me, from gameplay, from story, from everything about my experience with the game, is just a pure masterpiece. Hands down. Top 5 game of all time.
Worthy of buying a PS4 for.
Yes.
So if you don't have it, buy a PS4, play it.
Sell your Xbox. Not using that for a while.
Apparently not, which is sad.
Yeah.
But hey, I like Xbox, but check this game out. I'm going to play it. And for those, I know I asked this before, but we're redoing the whole thing again. Which God of do people have to recap on the God of Wars?
Like I said, if you can play the mainline God of Wars, you can. If you want to get a little bit of background from where he was at to where he's currently at with the new game, I would just recommend playing potentially God of War 3. I don't think it's a long game if you really want to get a better idea of it. The only thing I will say is that that you get a little bit more of an understanding of where Kratos has come from, and there's certain moments in the game that pack a little bit of a better punch if you were aware of the universe that he originally came from, and certain characters that were somewhat involved in the original game.
So play them just to kind of get to know the character if you want to.
I believe so.
If you don't have time or you don't have access to the 1 and 2, definitely play 3 at least.
Yeah. And like I said, you can tell the story of Kratos and the 3 games in pretty much like 5 to 10 bullet points. It's not something that's like this elaborate story.
Or if you don't care about story, you don't care about the characters, and you just want to play the game, go on YouTube and watch. I'm sure there's cutscenes and clips of stuff that happen to just explain his story and his how he gets to where he's at God of War, the newest one. Yes. I was going to say God of War 4, but it's not even called God of War 4.
It is God of War 4, though.
Yeah.
But it's not called God of War 4, but it is God of War. And that
Wasn't there a 4th God of War, though?
No, there's 3 numeric God of Wars. And then there was 2 PSP God of Wars. I'm sorry, and then Ascension.
Do you think
Ascension, that's what I was thinking
about. But there's 3 prequels. I don't know how the timeline goes, because there was from 1 to 2, because alright, so we're going to the weeds.
We don't need time.
So from 2 to 3, it's immediate. Like the instances that happen between 2 and 3 pretty much happen pretty immediately. But from 1 to the ending of 1, and then the time has passed, and then there's almost like another ending to 1. There's a whole bunch of stuff that potentially where all the prequels kind of fall into at the end of 1. It's really complicated. But don't worry about that. Just play the main games.
Okay.
So basically, do what he said. Should they have called this the God of War?
No, the reason why that they're doing this, the reason why they're calling it God of War, is so that I think it's more approachable to people that haven't played the other God of Wars. So you have a God of War title. When you put any kind of numbers on it nowadays, where it's like God of War 4, God of War 5, it becomes something where
You haven't played the first one.
people start automatically thinking that you have to play the previous ones. So people are less likely to pick it up and try it if it's something where they feel like, oh, well, I have no idea what's going on in the story.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the same reason why, I mean, Uncharted 4 was Uncharted 4 because the story continued.
Yeah, of course.
But like Infamous Second Son, like they could have called it Infamous 3, but it was a different character, it's same world and everything else like that. But that's the reason why I think Sucker Punch went to Infamous Second Son over doing another Cole story with Infamous 3. It's because PlayStation 4, get new people in, get them to try a game that they've never played before. They don't have to worry about what happened in the first two games. Or Killzone Shadowfall, same thing. Killzone Shadowfall launched with the PS4. There was 3 Killzones before that. They didn't call it Killzone 4. They called it Killzone Shadowfall to, get those people interested. And so they didn't have to think about what happened in the previous games.
I feel like they should do that with Halo. They'll call the next one the Master Chief.
It'd be interesting.
Or Master Chief.
I just know that Halo 6, they better have a campaign that's just a very core shooter with Master Chief. And not this. You gotta play.
But you said they should kind of, if you haven't played this, they should try to do what they're doing with this, with Halo somehow.
Kind of almost like, not like a soft, like this isn't even like a relaunch, but it's something like I feel like they need to have some sort of variation.
Do you think it's something where, because I did play Halo 4, that's one of the games I'm talking about, but do you think they should have did something where, like, switching over from Bungie to 343, where it was like Halo 3 and Halo 4? Do you think? Because Halo 4 was kind of definitely. I liked the game.
This is my problem. Like Halo 4 was good, really good.
Hold on, I'll bring that up.
And they jumped to 5, and I'm like, where did the people that made 4 go? Because it was 343. Like Halo 4 was 343. That was the Halo studio. Like they had an awesome product. Awesome campaign. Multiplayer was pretty good. And then they jumped to 5, and I feel like they just either ran out of time or didn't want to delve into a single-player campaign as much.
What was so bad about Halo 5's campaign compared to 4's?
Play Halo 5's campaign, and I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'm going to play Halo 5's campaign. That's my next one on the list. My wife and I were playing through the Master Chief collection.
They introduced a bunch of characters and gave them no kind of background.
Nathan Fillion?
Well, Buck is an ODST.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the best part about the game.
Do they use Nathan Fillion's character model in ODST also? Yeah. Okay.
Well, I don't know about an ODST. I never played ODST, but in Halo 5, they use his likeness.
Yeah, I remember they promoted him heavily.
Yeah.
In the lead up to the game.
But again, there's a bunch of it's the jumping back and forth between the teams. Not having a lot of character development about the other members. Like, if you didn't read any of the lore, you wouldn't know, who his fire team is.
I gotcha. So it's a swing and a miss.
Well, play it, and then we'll definitely talk about it.
All right. And then you beat Far Cry 5.
I did. Didn't really stick with me, like I was mentioning before. Good game. Ending was okay. It was interesting. It was unique. The gameplay was great, but it's one of those games that, I'll probably go back to when the DLC comes out, but I'm not, drawn in to jump back in and go exploring or anything like that. That's
actually something that I've heard a lot about the game and about Ubisoft games in particular recently.
Except for Rainbow Six Siege, because I'll play it all day long.
They're really good games mechanically, but they all seem to kind of blend together in a way, and also they're kind of vanilla.
Yeah, and that's why you were talking about Assassin's Creed Origins. I know you were kind of cool to it. I was the same way. Mm-hmm. It's just at the end of the day, it's still an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah,
I was in the mood for a Far Cry game, and that's why I went through and I played this game and I beat it. Just timing for the most part. There was nothing else that really pulled me away from Far Cry 5, so I beat it real quick. The campaign's not long or anything like that. The gun mechanics are fine. It's a fun world to play around in. A lot of interesting stuff, a lot of different areas you can look through. But again, it's like what we talked about. Far Cry 3 is just still, to me, the best Far Cry that there is.
Yeah.
For a multitude of different reasons. Got the actor who plays Boss was great. That villain was fantastic, and was the big draw to that game, I think. And again, you were a character that had a voice. You weren't a nonverbal like passenger for the game.
Right.
So that your character had a story behind it and everything else like that. So Far Cry 3 I just enjoyed a lot more. And again, even looking like at Assassin's Creed, like to me, the pinnacle of when I thought like Assassin's Creed was great was the Ezio trilogy. Like Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood would probably be my favorite if I had to pick one. And then Revelations was really good too. But that character of Ezio, to me, will always be the best time for Assassin's Creed.
I remember Revelations was the one game in the Assassin's Creed franchise that I really loved. Yeah. And even though I think that was at the time that was like one of the least favorite of the people of
the ones that were there.
At the time.
When I look back at Revelations though, like the way that game ends, I really like. And I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't played it, but like I said, to me, like then they went to 3 and they had Connor and the American Revolution. That fell flat to me.
Yeah.
The next best one to me was Assassin's Creed 4 with Black Flag. That's when it had something new to offer and the character was interesting.
And then they went to Unity.
Yeah, and that failed.
That failed bad.
Nobody's going to talk about that. Syndicate I played a little bit of, but again, it's a matter of Assassin's Creed after Assassin's Creed, Far Cry after Far Cry. I mean, they're games and they sell. And they try some new stuff, but it's not like revolutionary. Mm-hmm. You know, I foresee a lot of Ubisoft games, instead of bringing out these iterations, like they're going to go the Rainbow Six route and just keep adding to it.
I'm having fun with Wildlands.
Yeah,
they had the Sam Fisher mission.
Yeah, how was that?
It was okay. It was hard
to make me buy this game again.
It was hard as hell, but it was neat. I mean, you're a Splinter Cell fan, so
I mean, I'm a fan, but like, I mean, I've never been in a Splinter Cell game. Like, I want to be because it's my kind of a game. But like, the problem I have with Splinter Cell and the problem that I have with like even the Hitman franchise is that I'm one of those people that I'd rather do everything stealthy. And, like, there needs to be a button on my controller that says reload last checkpoint. Because I hate having, like, if I get caught, I want to kill myself. So I can start over and not get caught.
And then you burn yourself out by doing that over and over.
And I just burn it out. Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
Well, it's funny. It's funny because in the Predator version of the Ghost Recon, it was, like, perfect. Like, you feel like you're in that scenario. Like, it's cool. It's got the music playing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
With this one, your goal is to sneak into this building, you know, Sam Fisher style, but Wildlands isn't really a sneaky...
No, it's not, yeah.
So there's only one way to do it. So you have to have access to a helicopter. Little tip for you. But
that's usually how you beat most stuff in Far Cry 5. You just get, like... The pre-order bonus comes with a battle helicopter. And you just get in it, and if you see, like, a camp, you just blow missiles.
Yeah. So, but it was neat, and it was cool because he actually, Sam Fisher makes a nod to Snake.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He has a little nod for that
Is
character.
there a box?
No. He actually says it, like, he's like, I'm the only special ops still left. He's like, out there's like, there was another guy who used to wear a bandana, but from what I understand, or he's like, I heard he retired or something like that.
That's pretty good. That's a nice little,
yeah. Because I know it was a lot of, like, games were always about, you know, Splinter Cell versus Metal Gear with sneaking wise and stuff like that. So that was neat. I thought that was cool. Actually, Chris picked that up because he beat the mission first, and then I was like, are you sure you were talking about... Because I never played the Splinter Cells, so I didn't know if he was like a nod to... Like, I didn't know if you were always Sam Fisher or another guy.
You've always been Sam Fisher, I think.
So I wasn't sure.
No.
So I thought it was like a nod to another one of them, but actually I played it, and then, it's definitely not the Snake, so I thought that was neat. But it's cool. It was good. It wasn't as good as the Predator one.
Yeah.
You get the if when you beat it, they give you the goggles, the night vision goggles that he's known for. But I love just having the Predator mask instead.
I think there's going to be a Splinter Cell this year.
Could be.
I think so.
Maybe at E3.
Yeah, I think that's going to be like their Ubisoft's like one more thing.
Yeah.
Or it could show up on Microsoft's press conference.
Could be. They gotta have something.
Maybe they'll do a compilation of them all on the PS4, and then later
remastered.
They'll release a new one.
Maybe that would be a bad idea.
I'd like to try them.
I'm surprised they didn't remaster Blacklist, because that game did really well. That was really highly scored and everything like that, and that like came right before the new consoles came out. Mm-hmm. So I was surprised they never actually remastered it.
Yeah, but so Carmine, anything else you're playing? That's pretty much it.
Destiny.
Oh, yeah.
Destiny.
So let's talk Destiny, Jonah.
I know you guys can go deep into Destiny, and I know we were before the power went out, but kind of give a Cliff Note version of what you were talking about.
So Destiny, that's Bungie's new Redemption expansion. Yeah. So, and it's getting there. But okay, let me start with something I like this time. The exotics feel great.
Yeah, they do.
I love using the exotics now. Before they were just
mediocre.
Yeah. Now Sunshot's great. Graviton Lance is great. I love the Darcy, which I never thought I would say because that was terrible.
Everybody forgot about the Darcy until the update.
So let's talk about Warmind itself because we talked about it before, but this is basically a refresher of what we're doing. So it's basically season 3.
Second expansion.
Second expansion. Now, I was telling you, because we did a gameplay of this, so if you check it out on our YouTube channel, but I was talking to you about it, and I asked you, how would you have felt about Destiny 2 in the beginning if it just came out like this? Like, this was how it started. Like, this was version 1, day 1.
Like, if it had expansions 1 and 2 in addition to vanilla.
It had the Horde mode that's there.
See, you're talking about like an expansion from 1? Or just...
I'm just saying, like, if this is how 2 started.
Okay.
Like Destiny 2. Because I feel like Destiny 2 was...
Evolved everything.
I basically feel like Destiny's 2 release was literally just Destiny 1.5, if you will.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of people... Like, Destiny 2 sold really well. Like, Destiny 2, they gave them the campaign that they wanted for the most part, except for, like, that lackluster ending.
I played it. The lackluster ending was...
Yeah, the lackluster ending was kind of off.
I was telling Jonah in the stream, it was basically like the end of Ninja Turtles 2, the first Ninja Turtles 2, where Super Shredder
broke out
emerges, and then he just dies from a boardwalk falling on him.
I mean, it makes perfect sense. Obviously, Shredder's weakness is...
wood.
Docks
and water. Like the first one, he's fighting on the rooftop, he's kicking some ass, and then in this one you expect, oh man, he's the Super Shredder now, and then like a pillar falls on him and he's done. That's it. 2x4 hits him.
Destiny's stories endings, I'm not going to say anything about the ending, but it's not great either. Yeah, it kind of falls flat.
They have poor choices for what they're... I can't make up excuses anymore. Like, I don't know what's happening.
It's just they make these cool characters. Like Gaul had so much potential.
Yeah,
he could have been a nice raid boss. The campaign boss of this expansion, that could have been a raid boss, but it wasn't.
Yeah, and you were saying too, a lot of the strikes that are here, there's only there's one new one, if you will, because the other one's a PS4 exclusive.
There's 3 new strikes for this expansion. 2 of them are retreads of the story missions. And the last one that's not a retread is PlayStation exclusive.
Now, what happens if you're playing this on the Xbox? Do they only get 2 new ones?
Only 2 new ones.
Okay. Wait, so you played the strikes?
Yes.
So there's retreads like they did with pretty much Osiris, same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Except you went into the Infinite Forest.
Yeah, so it's just the story mission just made into a strike.
Fantastic.
So,
and the new one is pretty cool, but
I don't know what they need to do. I when we record this the first time, I was making a comment about like some of the friends, some of the guys from my clan that I play with, like they're saying quotes that we've said years ago. Mm-hmm. I'm really glad about the foundation that they had. They had a fine foundation, and then they screwed it all up again, and they had to start from scratch. I can't wait to see what's going to happen in September. We've heard it before. Like it's just...
They're just looking at their notes from the first one going, oh, yeah.
And the last point I'll make, like I said, don't get me wrong. And I'm going to be the biggest critic of Destiny because I've played so much of it. Like, I pretty much played it 3 years straight. And so was Jonah.
Well, tell the new viewers who you're coming from the Destiny 1, what is it? Unlocked? Not unlocked. Whatever. The Facebook page.
The Facebook page. The Fire Chat Facebook page. The IGN fan site.
Which was huge.
Yeah. I mean, it's still huge. That's thousands of followers. But it's just one of those things that... And what I was saying before was that you have Bungie in the middle here. And you have Activision pulling one way to make money and get releases out. You have a casual community that just wants to play the game and wants to be able to level up in a reasonable time. And then you have the streamers and the hardcore that want the loot grind, want the difficulty, and they're being pulled so many different ways that nobody is ever going to be happy. Nobody is going to make... And part of me kind of wishes, and this is a terrible thing to say, I'm sure it's blasphemy, I really just wish they would go and make the game that they want to make. Because I don't know if they even know what they want to do. Or like what their plans are.
It's like they had an idea for Destiny, but they couldn't make it come true.
Yeah. And again, if in the perfect world, I would say go away for 2-3 years. Come out with the third game when you have all your stuff together.
Don't make it like BioShock.
Like,
don't announce it.
Or not BioShock. I'm sorry.
Don't get me wrong. Like, they
BioShock 2.
They want to make this game like a hobby. You know what I mean? Like, they want this to be the game that you continuously go back to.
And
it was never designed to be that, though.
Yeah. But when I see it, like what we played the other day, I had fun playing it.
Yeah.
It looked great and all that stuff.
And
but
it plays amazingly.
But I'm very, very, or I'm very much a stranger to it. Like, I'll come and play it for when you guys play, and then I'll leave for a long time, play something else, and come back to it. It's not going to work when you have such a big community that is Destiny to try to be like, oh, let's make it a hobby, because it's not, like, first of all, if it was a hobby, you're not going to make a level cap power level of 30. You're going to do something that's like infinity, something that's going to make people want to keep
pushing. It's like Dark Souls.
They need to,
because that's what got me out of it. Like, I reached the cap and I'm like, I'm done.
What the hardcore people want is the grind of like Monster Hunter into Destiny. And I'm fine with that. Like, I think that's honestly what they should do. Like, hey, this strike boss, you can get XYZ from. But you have to acquire that. It needs to drop certain materials that you then build up and actually.
I compare it to the demo of Crackdown when that came out.
Or bosses in the wild.
You can play Crackdown. You guys are familiar with Crackdown, right? This is like the first Crackdown. They gave you a demo, and you could go and collect all the coins. And I think
the orbs
or whatever it was. And I think there might have been more in the actual full game, like a little bit more. But in that demo, you got so powerful that.
It didn't matter.
Yeah. And the fact is that because the level was so easy to get to, the level cap, I didn't bother buying the game.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I already got what I came for. Same thing in Destiny. It's like, within a few days, people were saying, oh, I got to the cap already. And it's like, why? Like, why would you?
Well, right now they went to the cap that quickly because the raid came out, so they were grinding to get to.
Yeah, but it makes but as a developer, why would you make it so easy? Just to like you're saying, I guess it comes back to the mechanics of what they thought was going to work, and it didn't work. Like people are just like, okay, they rushed to get everything done, and they got it done.
Yeah. I also remember we had a conversation about how it was. We didn't like how. The point of the beginning of the game was to ignore everything in the beginning to get to the level so you can start playing the game. Yeah. So there's a whole chunk of the game where it's you just trying to get past rather than enjoy or get anything from other than leveling up.
Yeah.
And that's something they should address, make it worth playing through the campaign to level up rather than just for the sake of leveling up.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't know like if they should just go the Warframe path and make it like maybe a one-time payment and then you pay through microtransactions to help feed the content, but everybody doesn't want to do that. Obviously, because
I think with Warframe, the only content you can pay for is like colors and
the cosmetics, which I think it should go back to. I don't think it should be a loot box system. Yeah. They refined some of that loot box system. It's like a punch card now, where you actually can buy like 10 items or something like that every single week.
Right.
Which is fine. I thought that was it's a Band-Aid. It's not a pure fix, but I don't see why they don't just make the Eververse back to what it was, where you can just buy the emotes that you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or buy the custom skins or whatever. I don't know. Overwatch made it work. You buy the game up front, and then they fund it with the different cosmetic items. Blizzard's doing something right.
Oh yeah.
Bungie should just go to Blizzard. Just, like, get away from the Activision side. Just go to Blizzard. Be like, hey, here's Destiny 2. Help us fix it. But yeah, like I said, I just don't get me wrong. I love the game. Mm-hmm. The shooting gameplay. Unrivaled to anybody, really, I think. But it's just, you can only play so much of it now.
Yeah.
I feel. So.
They want you to keep coming back.
And I don't think everybody's ever going to be happy. No chance.
Every single expansion is just going to be a loop.
And then, of course, when the game came out, there was people that were complaining, like, hey, it's too grindy. Well, they wanted the grind, and now they got the grind, and now people are complaining that it's too grindy. And that's the same conversation we've had for the last 4 years.
Hey, that's the power of this game.
Just throw my hands up in the air.
People talk about it, complain about it, but still come back to play it.
I mean, it could just be the fact that Bungie doesn't know how to make a worthwhile grind. So sometimes they just
follow Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I still think there's Bungie associates in a meeting room being like, how can we make this game more like Monster Hunter? Because a lot of the Bungie community, or a lot of the Destiny 2 community, when everything the bottom fell out and a lot of streamers started going elsewhere, they all went to Monster Hunter.
I still need to play.
Maybe
Monster
that's
Hunter
where
World.
we should all go.
I do too. I should play it. It's one of those things that I don't know if I could do the grind. But evidently it's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
The fighting mechanics are kind of wonky too. I hear. Like you gotta find
that's
what weapons you want.
That's Monster Hunter. That's basic Monster Hunter. It's just always a little clunky.
It'd be interesting.
But then playing God of War, where it's so reactive, and then going from boom, and you hit him like 5 minutes later.
Too early.
I know. Fucking Santa Monica.
What you do is you find the games that are worthwhile, and then you put them on your shelf. And you're like, I'm just going to slowly get to that, and you work from your way.
You'll ruin games.
John, you're never going to finish these games on your shelf.
When I retire,
okay,
I have something to do.
When you retire, you're going to be sipping margaritas on a beach.
He'll finally play.
You're not going to want to play a game.
Well, I'm very glad you think I'm that well off in life. That means I'm doing something right. Moving on. Jonah, so that was basically what you were talking about the play. I talked about Halo 4.
Anything else?
No, it's just that this week.
I talked about playing Ghost Recon, but I will talk about Secret of Mana. We actually live streamed the remake or reboot or something like that, and having never played the original one, I finally got to turning on my SNES Classic to check it out, and I just played a little bit of it, just like maybe an hour's worth, nothing too much. I had to do something, but I just wanted to check it out. And I can see why people are angry. Just like through that little bit alone, you can tell that it tried. It was like it wanted to try too hard
to be new,
but it didn't make sense. Like the remaster of what they were doing doesn't make sense. For instance, this scene here, it's the very beginning, like when you first meet the character. He's actually following these two characters. He slips and he falls off the waterfall. They're looking for the treasure, the sword, if you've never played it. But in the remaster, they make it where like one of the kids pushes him off, which was kind of weird. So it kind of changes the story. And the dialogue is quick to the point. It pushes the story forward. As in the remaster, they add all these like unnecessary dialogue. The voice acting's not that good. The characters don't move their mouths, and it's designed to be like it looks like it came off a phone or something like that. So it's very interesting why they did it the way they did it. So
I like how it's the original is the best of 16-bit pixel art, and the remaster is the worst of modern.
Yeah, when Secret of Mana came out, actually the SNES, the Super Nintendo could barely, not say barely play, but that was like you just said, the peak. Like that was it. The music's actually really cool in it too. And then the remaster, like you just said, it was like, why?
They didn't have the budget, I guess.
Yeah, something.
They're working on Final Fantasy 15.
But, from what I played of the original one, I definitely the original's better. So if you guys get a chance, get the SNES Classic, so you don't have to go and buy it. Because it's probably expensive, but get the SNES Classic. They're still around. They still come out.
And there's going to be a new batch of them coming out, right?
Yeah. From what we understand, the level, it's probably going to end at the end of the year. But we will use that segue, actually, because we're going to start talking about news once I find my mouse here.